The ActiveState Platform now provides support for the Ruby programming language, including Rails. This brings the platform's many benefits to Ruby developers, including vulnerability reporting, dependency management, and restorable environments. Let me show you how. So here you can see my project. It's based on Ruby 3.03 and I'm building it for Windows. Now you can see that it's got a few dependencies already, but if I want to add a few more, the easiest way to do it is just to paste in my gemfile.lock dependencies. If I click the import button, ActiveState Platform will then have a look through the gems that I've requested, try and find the version most compatible with all the ones that are pinned, and it'll also bring in a bunch of dependencies, altogether 69 of them. So it'll also identify vulnerabilities, and it tells me I've got 3 high vulnerabilities here. Here's one of them for Puma. If I go ahead and click the link, what I get is a link to the US government's National Vulnerability Database, which gives me a look in on what this CVE is all about. And it doesn't look too bad for what I'm intending to use this for, so I'm going to go ahead and say that's okay. I'll leave that vulnerable version of Puma in here. So in that way I can make sure I'm always aware what vulnerabilities are in my project, and I can always have access to check out the latest versions and whether there's a fix for them available as well. Now if I click on the Save button, what happens is the ActiveState Platform will now build all of these dependencies from source code. And you can see it does it very quickly here because most of this has already been pre-built. So it's just pulling it from cache. You can see that the ActiveState Platform includes a secure build service, and that's basically a containerized system that's going to pull in all of the gems which we store locally in our own catalog on the ActiveState Platform, and then build them all from source code, including any linked C files as well. So once that's done, it packages it all up and gives me an install snippet, which I can just copy and then take over to my Windows system. And I'll just paste it here on the command line and hit return. Now, the first thing you see is happening is we're installing our State Tool Package Manager. And that's our universal package manager, which works with Perl, works with Python, works with Ruby as well. And then what's happening is we're going to install that Ruby program. And that's going to download a copy of Ruby along with all the dependencies we had listed for that project, and then install them locally on my system here. All right, that's done. We've installed Ruby into a virtual environment, and that virtual environment has been activated for me. So if I go ahead and run something like state packages, I can get a list of all the gems that are currently installed. Now, as soon as I do that, I can see that I'm actually missing one that I'm going to need, and I can just go ahead and install that gem straight from the command line here by running state install. What I'm looking for is stripe-rails, and I want version 2.3.3. What's happening now is the state tool is telling the ActiveState Platform to go ahead and retrieve Stripe Rails from the ActiveState Platform's catalog of gems and identify all the dependencies associated with it, and then go ahead and build Stripe Rails from source code along with all those dependencies, and then download them locally. You can see that's now done, and it's telling me to run state push to update the platform. So what's happened is, if I run state packages again, I've locally updated my environment here with Stripe Rails, but the ActiveState Platform has not been updated. To make sure Stripe Rails is pushed back to the platform so that all the other developers on my team can take advantage of it, I can run state push. Now when I flip back to the ActiveState Platform, I can look at the configuration for my project, and I can see that Stripe Rails has indeed been added to the project. But that might not be the way my company works. I might have to go through a process to add new Rails gems to my project. So in this case, what I can do is go under the History tab, which maintains a snapshot of all the different commits that have happened along the way for this project. Takes a Git-like snapshot and lets me know who uploaded that last Stripe Rails package. And what I can do is I can revert back to a previous commit that doesn't have Stripe Rails associated with it. You can see I've removed that now. And that gem will actually have to go through the proper process before it can be added to this project. So now, if I'm the developer, I'm going to have to revert my local environment back again. I can do that simply by running state pull, and that will synchronize my local project with the remote project on the ActiveState platform. If I run state packages, I can see that the Stripe Rails package or gem has been removed. So those are some of the advantages you can get by working with ActiveState's new Ruby distribution. I encourage you to download it and give it a try for yourself.